Hi, Betty. Hope you're alright. Sorry about the silence, just preparing things in the studio. I'll be on probably in about 5 minutes.
Thinking I can never live without you by my side. I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. I grew strong. I learned how to get along, and so you're back from outer space. I just walked in to find you here with that sad look upon your face. I should have changed my stupid life. I should have made you leave your key. If I'd have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Going now, no. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. You shouldn't have welcomed me anymore. Weren't you the one that tried to make me with you? Why you think that I'm gonna go? You think I lay down and die? Oh no, not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love. I know it's real life. I got all my life to live. I got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. Hey, hey. Not to fall apart. Kept trying to find the missing pieces of my broken heart. And I spent all so many nights feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me. Somebody new. I'm not that kind of little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping it. Don't expect me to be free. Now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go, now go. Walk out the door. Just turn around now. 'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to break it with your fire? I think that one boy. You think I lay down and die? Oh, you're not I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love. I know I'll stay alive. I've got all my life to live. I've got all my life to give. And I'll survive. Hey, 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 hey.
Right, going to be talking about this the last few days. We really have made Loopy work. Every time our group comes up with something, sometimes I don't even have to bother coming to my group. I just go to Loopy's page to see new posts on our group because she's been plastering it all on. You know, I'm a woman, again, I'm a woman abuser. like bad as a child abuser, with his son on ketamine. What they do is, if you've got a voice, this group of individuals, Loopy, Wes, Mark Pickford, all the usual trolls and stuff, including people like anyone that's been in people's inboxes. Now I've got inboxes from all of them, and it's always one way. Why am I going to answer people that come out with things like, you're going to find your dead dogs. You're going to find your dog's head in a bed because they believed I got a new dog. Pram, spastic dog. You've got a spastic dog. What sort of people mock and say things like that? If you went outside and I was teary, my dog's died, and someone went, "Oi, pram boy," what sort of vile person would say that? Someone like a paedophile? The things they say, the way they carry on, don't that ring a bell with anyone? All these people following them. Do you know why? The followers are in the online ring of scamming abusers, the likes of Anna Agafulu from Kilburn. People like that. I know you're thinking, oh, she's a survivor. Look how vile that survivor is. Look how vile she is. Look at Loopy mocking my son of dying of an overdose. An 18-year-old kid. It's like, I've got one on you. An 18-year-old kid. What would you say about someone if I was walking down the road crying, yeah? Daniel was walking down the road crying, yeah? And someone goes, your son's just died of an overdose. They go, you let your son die. What would you think of someone like that in the real world? As you're going to get your chips or whatever down the street, conducting your normal business. Someone walked. Someone like a paedophile. Unbelievable how these people follow them. That's what I used to think for a long time. I used to think, why do these people follow them? Why can't they see, why is everyone joining in when they say something vulgar, nasty? I mean, it's common knowledge. Wes is a hunter. Could die of the hunters. Loopy worked for him. Why? How can hunters come out with things about bestiality? How can they come out about things? I'm talking about Wes. Wes's role is a troll, the same as Mark Pickford, the same as the other idiots, yeah? They're trolling. If you go against the grain with them, they're controlling. Now I'm gonna go proper on this tonight, trust me. I might distract and whatever, but it'll all lead to the same road. The thing they do is, they thought, we'll start a survivor group. They didn't think it. The Suffolk paedophile ring thought it. That's who come into this arena to spoil hunting and then keep some looking credible or whatever it was. That's why they come in here. And then they were told, do a bit of hunting, start a survivor group, start getting them in, yeah? Then survivors go in. Survivors is a saying I've always had about all people. Every man does his thing a little bit different. Someone will go in that group and they won't tell them a thing. Or they'll tell them bullshit and watch and investigate. Or they'll go in there and they're in a time. Survivors, yeah, go up and down, yeah? They go up and down in moods, yeah? When you're on your down, you're at your most vulnerable. And if you go and join one of their survivor groups when you're on your most down, that's the time when you need to cry and you need someone, anyone to listen to your story. Why would anyone want to listen to anyone's story on Facebook, in a Facebook group, like Naomi Woods? Why would anyone want to do that? I don't want to hear no one's story. Fucking that destroy me every time. How many times has the likes of people we've had in group chat started? I've had to go off the call. I don't want to hear it. I can't hear it. I have to save my soul for documentaries, for due diligence. I can't waste it like that. And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way. It's a good thing I'm like that. Because I don't want to hear no one's story. then you've got the likes of Kay. I know she's totally irrelevant in this. Kay is being used. She's got a mental health problem, and look, she started going for Chelsea. She come back to Laura. Oh yeah, I told her. Of course, Loopy don't care about her mental health. Loopy's another one, isn't she? She's part of the scamming ring online. How long ago was it Kay went, Sal's, I've had enough, I don't want to be here. Loopy's letting her carry on again. When it's a friend, she should be, shouldn't Loopy be in her inbox going, look Kay, you need to take it easy, you know, like looking after her. No. Because they don't care about survivors, they don't care about normal people. I know Kay's supposed to be a survivor. If she is, that makes it worse. But how do we know Kay ain't involved with them? And come out with, set me and Helen up and said, I was in a tsunami. Because she announced it on Loopy's, didn't she? And Loopy acted all shocked. How do we know that's not playing out like that? Poor Kay's being used. I will not respond to her, and I hope that someone that speaks to her can get her the appropriate help and get that poor woman offline. I hope she sorts herself out. I mean that. No matter what she said about my dead son and my dead dogs, and I'm not a good dog owner, from my heart, I hope Kay Leveland sorts herself out, comes back, gets a dog, looks after it properly this time, yeah, and goes on Facebook and builds a channel of real friends in the real world. Because all survivors have got them, but we just don't bring them over here, do we? Back onto this week, sorry. Loopy is retaliating. She's doing all these reposts on her wall about me. She wants my picture on her profile. She's made a group called Booyaka Sun, ! Yeah. It's got over 104 members. Now, if it's Booyaka me with that picture on there, she's meaning me, and that group is a group designed to mock my dead son, my 18-year-old dead son. That says it all. 104 people in that group. That's how big the network is. Simple. That's how big the network is. It's a massive online network. Now we're going to go on to something even more interesting. How I think they operate is how I know they operate. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. When me and Helen departed from Kay, as you all know, I exposed him for talking to a 15-year-old girl, phoning a 15-year-old girl. I exposed him with his dick pic, with the same wallpaper behind when he did a live. Loopy defended him as much as he defends Loopy. I didn't know Tim. Tim just fired into me going, leave Laura alone, blah, blah, blah. He always picks on women. Yeah? Listen, even if I did pick on women, there's a big difference to what you do, Tim. A very big difference. Massive difference. Right. I went into Cockney banter after the Moonpig War, quotation marks, yeah, which once again was about a scam, funny enough. I've gone into the real Cockney banter. Helen told me, you know, you can come in and admin and blah, 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 straight away. I've gone in. I told Helen, listen, I'm going in, but I'm only going to be internet friends with them. She knows what that means. We've had many discussions. Helen's so much on my wavelength as much as Joanne Mossop is. Joanne Mossop's known about me for a very long time. Joanne Mossop's never hated on me. I've hated on her in a wind-up way, but it's always been joking. I find her to be another person who's been mocked by a certain someone. Loopy was going on about Joanne Mossop a long time before this group was started, and a long time before me and Joanne started talking again. And when I say again, I disappeared because I was having a relationship, like a real one, love, right? Now, I'm in this group. I get invited to a hangout. I speak to someone. I'm not going to mention her name, even if I have, I apologise, but what can I do? Because she's a victim as well in this. Believe me, a big victim. I got invited in, blah, 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 blah. I get invited to a hangout. This woman starts a conversation that inspires a passion for things I had before. Not saying she knew, but this is how it went. They found it so easy to groom me, right? Then the next day, after this hangout talk with this woman, I got a message. I don't usually answer messages from women, strange women, but she seemed a bit troubled and a bit needy. So I thought, answer her just in case. But if she does start to give you shit, just tell her, look, go to a recognised survivor group. No, don't go on nothing on Facebook. Look, I don't really like talking to people. I'm not qualified, but I really am sorry to hear what's happened. You know, you've got to be sympathetic, build them up, and make sure they go to the right channels. Not Naomi Woods and her mother's survivor group, which was started with and given over, or whatever it was. We'll get to that, why I think that group's dodgy. Now I'm in there, this girl's messaged me. I thought, okay, well, she seems a bit needy or, you know, like troubled, you know, and she seemed all right. I actually got on with her, truth be known, and I'll admit to it. But then it was a friend request. Do you mind if I send you a friend request? No problem. Friend request. And then we started talking. I didn't want to meet no one, so I told her we can go out on a date. I know that's how I asked her out. I actually asked her out through the recommendation from Joanne Monaghan from Dimpact. Yeah, look after her. She's a really nice girl. Keep her laughing. That's all I needed. Gone over there, keep making her laugh. Next thing you know, is I've gone to her. I'd like to take you out for a date. You know, like in public. Like a proper date, because this is a mother who I've just learned is going through the worst shit you could imagine. She was going through, preparing to go through something I had been through. So then I went and asked her, do you want to go on a date? I thought London Zoo, because I saw it on Only Ways Essex, right? And she said, when? I goes, in the summer. Yeah? Next thing you know, is she's going around irritating everyone, trying to make them speed up our date. Or our meeting. So I can't really remember the 100% details, but we ended up meeting. We was going to meet. But she was going to come down to me. A stranger. An internet stranger. Big fail straight away. But I thought to myself, she'll be alright with me. It's not like I'm a rapist. It's not like I'm going to beat her up. It's not like I'm going to put her in a cellar. I ain't got one. She was safe. So, interestingly, I went to the train station. I wasn't waiting for this woman. I was waiting for Loopy. I was waiting for Wes and Ches to jump out and do some kind of sting, because they would have made my fucking day. I was sitting there thinking, I hope it's them and not her. And then the train come and I saw her. So we came home, and within 10 minutes a relationship started. Yeah, 10 minutes. A relationship started. That's when I knew, you're a wrong 'un. You've been sent down here. You've been proper sent down here. I knew. Straight away. And this woman didn't like drama. She kept telling me, no, don't go live, don't go live, stop being involved in the drama, stay in the Cockney banter and just have jokes, yeah? You get me? Telling me what friends to have. Telling me to block Helen at one point, telling me to block Mossa, this, that and the other. She was telling me to block everyone. If it was a woman, I was supposed to block it. It wasn't that she was jealous. They were trying to contain me and keep me at the way. Well, you know what happened? Tom, Timmy, Wesley, whatever it is. I'm sorry, but your spy fell in love. She fell in love. Wanted to marry me, wanted me to move in with her, wanted me to get a place round the corner. That's a bit of a big fail. Because it weren't baloney. Look, when you're a survivor, you read people's faces. I looked at this woman's face. The first time she came around my house and she took a picture of me and her so that Helen could put it on Facebook and get one up on Kay Leverland, who was my other stalker. I looked at her face and she looked like, oh shit. Like, I like him. He's a nice bloke. She saw what I was like with my neighbours. She thought but her first picture looked a bit, oh no, like I don't want to lose this. And she kept saying that, I don't want to lose this. You don't understand, I really don't want to lose this. I love you, I fucking love you. A million times a day. She was in love. She wasn't grooming me then. I know I was wrong, because I played the game. I don't do love. I tell women when I'm trying to find out information, if they contact me like Jem Hayes, I'll say things like, love then. Joanne Mossop, I went to over a year ago. I goes, I'll go and get some info. What I do is I chat her up. And Joanne went to me, Steve, you don't have to chat people up to get information. You do know that. But she's a bad woman. She's a bad mother. Talking of that, let's get back to this, yeah. Let's get back to this. Let's not lose the narrative. Now, the next time this woman come down, and no, I went to her, and we went to a park, and she took a selfie. But this time, I looked at her face, and I've never seen that woman that happy in my life. She was glowing. She was glowing. And all I was doing was telling her, I want you to be confident. I was building her up so that when I had to go, because I smelt a rat, at least I'd done some good. At least I'd done some good. Told her about herself. Example, we went into a fish and chip shop, my local fish and chip shop. I've been going there for over 5 years. All she could do was scream out bad language. effing C, spinning around like a 9-year-old. The 5 Turkish men behind the counter, who were not shy of swearing, looked totally disgusted, and they were laughing as well, smiling, but looking disgusted. Then this guy come in, a yappy, posho. He looked like he was coming in for cod and chips. He looked at her and thought, the look on his face was like he smelled shit, and he went, can I get a gherkin takeaway, please? But he was definitely a cod and chips man. But he heard her fish mouth. That's what Tom sent to me. Then we've got when she come to stay. When she come to stay. I told her, after week 3 of her coming down here and cabbing it home, I bought a shredder, and I showed her the shredder. I goes, when you come down, I goes, that's how paranoid I was of you. You know, just teasing, experimenting. And the look on her face was like, I'm going to lose him. She almost had a panic attack. And when I did have her round, I put a bit of paper on there with a dodgy foreign name to this address. You know, like in the sense of a copy, a homemade one. and I left it on the table. Then I heard from someone, Loopy, on a live, "Ha, we know your name, it's two foreign names and I'm keeping it." Truth is, your girl fell in love and she didn't want to even read that paper. She got a glimpse and she forgot. She doesn't know what it is now. What sort of spy is that? But I shouldn't mock her, I'm mocking you on that account. Now let's get back to this woman. Why would this woman come down and spy on me when she's in that situation? And there's people out there know what I'm talking about. When she's in that situation, she'll leave people with a child, not children, a child at that time, and come down to see me. Why would she be doing it? Truth is, Timmy talks to a lot of women. I uncovered the dick pic, I uncovered the truth. Him and Vicky Logan were having phone sex because she asked me, "Have you got the video?" When I said I had. So there is a video. So I knew he's a dirty freak who goes online and bashes himself off with women, or gets women to bash off. One more thing, this woman told me he was such a nice bloke, Tim. Tim's a nice bloke, but the only thing she don't like about him was once they were talking for an hour and she had her cam on and she didn't know and he didn't tell her and went, "Look, you look good there." That was a lie. She was covering something up in case I found out, to save the relationship she now wanted. And she wanted it, believe me. Now, my reckoning is, Timmy, who we know, you women out there must know what Timmy's like. He finds a weak, vulnerable woman, like this woman, got nothing going for herself, weak, and in a bad way, gets her to have phone sex, and then sends it to her, like, "You're my bitch," or whatever, "I've got a hold over you, you do as I say from now on." That's why I won't have a go at this woman. That's why I won't. And I've got proof. I've got proof that this woman, that I can't release, but I've got proof that this woman knew more about phone sex than she let on. It was her first time, blah, blah, blah. "Oh, I don't know what's happening. You know what makes me feel like this." Whoa. No, mate. No, mate. Not my bag. Not my thing. Not my thing. All she got was me being verbal to her. Verbal. It's not my thing. I'll help her out. It is fucking 2019, do you know what I mean? But all she did was lie. All she did was lie. The picture Helen put up to get a K, the next morning I woke up, it was untagged. And it was gone. Something was happening. And it was conflicting. It was conflicting. She said she didn't do it, blah, 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 blah. Swore on someone's life. But it turned out I recorded the phone call. That's when I started recording. I thought, hang on, no way, man. This is 100% a wrong 'un. She admitted she took it down because one of her friends of 17 years would have gone mad to find out if she'd have come round to a stranger's house and jumped in bed with him after 10 minutes. I'll make a friend right. I'll make a friend right. Come on. I know what everyone's thinking. I was wrong. But I already knew what this person was about. And I mean sexually. You know, and I'm saying, it's not her fault. You know, like some people have to do things like that. What's it called? Plenty of Fish or Facebook to get quick sex. But you don't have strangers around your house, around your children, to have quick sex. Because you can't leave the house. You don't do that. Now, Loopy knows about this, Timmy knows about this, and they're for the kids. They know all about this woman, but they're for the kids. They sent a vulnerable woman who's worried to death about losing the best thing she had. They have not only used her, they've broken her heart. Not me. Not me. You come to play. She made the decision. But at the end of the day, she fell in love. She's the one who started having feelings and emotional abuse. She built that herself. If she'd have stayed normal, got what she wanted, read that paper properly, and gone home, if she had no feelings for me, she would have probably not come back. She would have took a picture of the name, gone to Loopy, then they could have done whatever that threatening. Like, you know they do. They threaten everyone. Look at the live today with Tilly. Tammy, sorry, I've got to stop calling her my dog's name, because that's why she was named Tilly. Someone named her Tilly, give her a false name in the hunting world. Right, look at the Tammy. Tammy's going, laughing, going, what, you wasting your time with idiots online? And what did Loopy say? This is the last live I do about him. Really? I don't think so. Your wall's been all about me today. Making up a dodgy group, so you can have all your little internet workers and scammers on there. Loopy thinks everyone don't see things. Look at her doing her live. The one in the little box. Shell Bell Chappelle. Look what I've done to her. She was in Helen's inbox, whatever time in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, crying, going, Steve Bronson's gonna expose me. Because she knew she told me more than enough to get my teeth into. More than enough about scammers. Sorry if I sound a bit angry, but if I say scammers, yeah, and online scammers of victims, not survivors, sorry, not victims, survivors, yeah, I do get angry. I, for one, don't like financial abuse. I've never taken a penny off no one. Apart from the government when I was a survivor. You know, what's it called? When you used to have to go down and sign on and get a gyro, like the dole, benefit, right? I used to have to do that. I'm not saying I never. I used to have to take loans out, crisis loans and shit like that. Of course I did. I didn't think I was supposed to be out on the pavement. I used to think I was like an animal or something, you know? I don't belong, what's going on? I can't get on in the world because you're a survivor. Your head's fucked. You can build yourself up. That's what you can do. But can you imagine me, a survivor, going to Loopy and being part of a baying mob, going, yeah, fucking, who's this cunt? Yeah, Joe Mossop's that fucking cunt. And then I go to their group, and then I go into their survivor group, Naomi Woods or whatever it was. It used to be standing together as one. I called it scamming together as one. Do I go in there? Imagine if I'd have gone in there when I was that weak. And I started going, yeah, this happened to me. Right, and then I start building myself up, and they got me there. Then I get me compensation, don't I? Then suddenly they need stab-proof jackets. Or another one that I thought of. General scamming, yeah. Find out the survivor's story. Blackmail them. Weekly payments, £50. Look how many followers, as Loopy said herself when she thought I meant viewers, when I said viewers. Over 1,000. Now let's say there's only 20 of them that are being financially abused for £50 a week. And that Timmy gets the payment in a dodgy account and passes all this money around, because we know he used an account to buy Vicky Logan and a 15-year-old, as he says, pretty, you should be a model. Daughter, £100 of nice takeaways. Timmy was unemployed. How did he do that? Look at his flat. He didn't have a pot to fucking piss in. It was like plastic furniture. The wallpaper was like... He was looking after his nan's flat. That's what it looked like. And then suddenly he's going on about... He's phoning me. Going on about, yeah, I made 10 grand on a deal last week. You've all heard his lives. He's dealing. In plain sight. In plain sight. Don't bother me, he's dealing. It's just this vulnerable woman is connected to drugs too. She don't sell them, she don't take them. She looks after people's money across the way from her who do deal. I'm not going to go into detail. She's got a dodgy door. She knows what I'm talking about. Anyone that's talked to her, are you telling me you don't notice? Most times she sprays more Lenore than is in Tesco's. She sprays so much Lenore, I'm worried she'll collapse. Drugs and financial abuse of survivors. Blah, 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 blah. The only reason I could come out of all this was because Tammy brought the angel of death, the woman who's going to marry Ronnie Cray, as a bit of advertising. Just like someone brought Chelsea out and then rinsed her out. Just the same as that. They thought, yeah, let's get this one on board now. Oh, and she's a Cray. That'll make Bronson stop. That's what they thought. But it backfired. That's when I showed what I know and how to do things and how to advise people and be more considerate. Don't have a go at everyone. Just don't respond to people no more. I'm not responding to people no more. If I don't like your comment and I don't answer it, you know what that means. I don't trust you. I've worked something out about you. It could be you were talking to me about certain things for like hours on the phone. It could be you've made a comment protecting Loopy. Like, yeah, he's a spastic, he had dead dogs. Ha ha ha. I won't answer you. Do I answer all these trolls in my box that are sent by Loopy and a paedophile online grooming gang? No, I don't answer. Look how many messages I put out there now, and it's not all of them, it's like a scratch of the surface. These lot have not stopped having a go at me, and all this leave Loopy alone, for 14 months. And now Loopy's thinking, did he record everything? You fucking bet your life. You bet your life. You bet your life. You ain't taking a piss out of me. I've already been abused. Why am I going to let you abuse me again? Time and time and time and time again. With your post, with your new group. Do you honestly think, acting like the way you're acting, you're painting yourself in a legitimate hunting world life? You and Tammy? When I first heard Tammy, I had to hold my belly. I thought, this fishwife is involved in hunting. This scum is involved in hunting. Yes, I'm saying it how it is. This scum is involved in hunting. Something's not right here. And you heard Badder. He shot him down with one arrow. When Loopy joined Tammy. He shot those down with one arrow. Yeah? It's because of how you act. It's because of how you act. And you show yourself. You show yourself every day. Every day. How many times has Tammy said she's leaving the community? Because I don't, and I record it. It's been that many times. They're running scared. Why hasn't Tammy gone at me? Ask yourselves that. Oh, are you acting along with that foolish idiot again? It's about how it gets, isn't it? It's about as much as it gets. Why don't she come after me? She always fires up alive and goes, right. She always does it. Why don't she come after me? Why has Loopy said today's the last live she does about me? Because the link she's got with the Crays have had a word with her. Or someone, more likely, is a link in prison from the Crays, is part of the Suffolk paedophile gang, grooming gang, paedophile ring. You say Crays, I say nonce. She's acting like she didn't know that Ronnie Cray was a nonce. But it was acceptable. What about knowing Ronnie Cray is part of a Suffolk paedophile gang? Was part of a Suffolk paedophile ring with Lord Boothby, Parliament. Why was that all right? But now she's found out he was in bed with a 14-year-old. That's terrible. I know he's dead, but he's a fucking nonce. How did your paedophile, the Suffolk paedophile ring and the Craze, react to that comment? I bet they told you off, Laura, didn't they? They told you made a fool of yourself, and like today on your live, you was told to calm it down. Simple as that. Right. Anyone want to join? Right. Hang on. I've seen one person, but I'm going to wait and see if there's any preference to him. If anyone wants to join, make a comment. Joe, Helen. All you got to do is make a comment and come on. While we're waiting. Yes, Helen. Hiding in plain sight. But the only problem with me is no camera. Hang on. Sorry. 1 minute. Sorry about the dodgy wood. It's my floor. Oh, right. Guess. Broadcast. Right. I'm going to add you as all... Hang on. Wait a minute. This is someone I definitely want to talk to. The woman of reason. Another person that's been abused by these people from all angles. Oh, there's the iron bars on my window. Was it they were accusing me of being a drug dealer? Look how that panned out. I did, Joe. Yeah, Joe, what are you saying?
The woman of reason, thank you.
You are what you are.
Well, I thought I was mental today. I'm mental, apparently.
I never called you mental.
No, Chelsea did.
Well, come on. Chelsea's got nothing to say, really. I mean, look at what she's done today. She got the worst present she could have. Loopy, give her a badge and have in tow the mother who was used, blackmailed, into spying on me. How did that work out for... I wonder if Chelsea's enjoying that in her group chat, knocking out all my moderators so we don't know what's going on. I wonder what she's going to do now. She's going to make herself look like she's fucking helping a Suffolk paedophile ring.
Well, I don't know why... no one suggested that Chelsea's done anything wrong to survivors that I know of, or that she's been mentioned on the page, so I don't know why.
Chelsea's a survivor. End of story. I'm not going to go into detail. It's up to her to tell.
No, I don't. I mean, well, okay.
I've seen people mocking her.
No.
I've seen people mocking her for it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her mocking other survivors.
No.
She's never mocked me. She's had a little joke, like with the memes, and I got groomed by Lupium. Do you know what I mean? I've gone through so much. Why would I let something like that bother me? It's the same as Kay Leverland. Look what I said about her. She's being used. She needs proper help. She needs proper help and support by at least one person, decent person, out of all the shit she's got around her. It's not going to.
Well, these are
they're controlling.
Her so-called friends seem to be egging her on rather than the same as when Tess was going off the rails.
And she's just lost her dog as well, so she's going to be emotional.
To encourage it.
Yeah, Joe, you've got to remember, Kay's just lost her dog as well, so she's going to be emotional. Do you know, she's not going to be in a good place. I know she comes on here. I know Kay comes on here and gives it a big mouth and blah. Steve Bronson, 6 months. You broke me, Steve. You broke me, right? It's madness. She needs help. The poor woman, I say that, the poor woman, no matter what she said about my dead son, no matter what she said about my dead girlfriend, no matter what she said about giving out my address, no matter what she's done, because if I'm going down the road and someone with mental health problems punches me in the face, does that give me the right to stab them, shoot them? No, I've got to put them on the floor and keep them calm. They're ill.
I know.
These people, this is what I've always wondered. Why haven't they got no empathy? How can they say things about people's dead dogs, people's dead children, you know.
Well, you can't say he's right in the head either, can you? Going round the things he does and says. That's what annoyed me today, because I don't know. A lot of people probably don't realise, because a lot of people don't expose what they get in their inbox of certain people. But the fact is, I've heard it time and time again. It's not me that sent them, but they've actually done it in her name.
She's still got them there.
And
Her.
she's aware of it.
Yeah,
she's aware of it. And then she will say, they're my friends. Well, why have friends that do things like that?
Who would?
I wouldn't want to be friends with people who go around discussing filthy bestiality.
Yeah, and sending people whose dogs...
Asking if I'm renting my kids out to nonsense and things like that. And they're supposed to be representing...
Yeah. Imagine in the real world. Imagine if you said to someone in the real world... that you know personally, you know all your life, you go, fucking hell, someone on Facebook was calling me pram boy and taking the piss and putting pictures up, my dog's going missing and all this shit. They'd think, what the fuck? They'd know straight, a rational person would know straight away, they're doing that to you, a survivor. Alright, I didn't give out my true survivor story at the beginning. You know what I'm like. I'm, what's it called? Cryptic. I'll only tell people what I want them to know. And that's the best way to be on here. That's the best way to be on here.
She puts me in mind of JB, the way she's like, everything's got to be alive about it. Everything's got to be sorted out on a live.
She's feeling accepted.
Because I'm, yeah, ridiculous. Money grabbing.
Well, look how much, that's another point. Well. That's another point. I mean, look at Laura, Loopy Cray.
How
many times have, look, the Moon People War, what was that about? Remind me? Money.
It was about the fact that anyone with a Moonpig account can go into their history on their account and see everything that's ever been bought through it. So it will have a date. That even if you've ordered the same item twice, it's going to have a different order number, which will have the dates on as well.
Exactly.
So, if, that could have been done in about 2 minutes.
Exactly, because it's a...
And how long did it drag out for?
Yeah, she did. And then you got Loopy, funny enough, on her live. I've got all her lives anyway. I found it the other night. I was listening to it. You got Loopy going, I was on a live with her. And she's going, I'm going to show the receipts. I'll show the receipts. And Loopy straight away jumped in with, you ain't got to show him them receipts. You ain't got to show him them. And I was there going, not me. I don't want to see the receipts. It's not my business. The survivors who contributed only. But she didn't get that. Like she does. That's her tactic. I'll act like she looks in that picture I got of her. And these people, survivors, the followers, half of them probably being blackmailed. To troll, to support her. It's an online scamming survivors ring. Look at...
Well, it's funny how they come and go, isn't it? Because no sooner as one's come in, another one leaves, another one arrives, like Ian Hall.
Because someone susses them out, Joe. Someone susses them out, yeah? And then they go, oh, Shell, you're going to have to take one for the team. Oh, Shez, you're going to have to take one for a team.
Mm.
I mean, what happened to that other one, Cassie Martin? She was in the box, like having a go at me, abusing me about my dogs and this, that and the other. And, oh, yeah, I remember when he said that about Anna. Yeah, I remember. Was she even around then?
Mm.
What's happened to her? Why she disappeared? Because she's listened to me and she's thought, I ain't going to be the next fucking Ches Malum and Showboat Chappelle, trust me. And it's obvious. Where's her comment?
Yeah. Well,
where's her comment?
On the cards. I mean, how many times can you change your name?
Yeah, go on, Joe. Go on, Joe.
Well, why would you need to change your name so much? If you just, like, fuck up, move on, and make a new group, new
because
name.
then they've got something else for us to concentrate on, and not concentrate.
Because they've got such a bad reputation. Mm. But I asked her, why... a genuine question. What is her conviction rate as a paedophile hunter? How many convictions has she got?
I did that. I went to her on there when she was allowing me to speak.
She just.
I said when her and Ches started that team, what was it? Hunters United. When I used to say Survivors United, right? They changed. They went hunting as was it Hunters United. So I went. So when Justine, like 2 months after they started, I put them under pressure. So what they did, they went and had a celebratory calf meal. Everyone's seen it because Lucy shows it. They went and had a celebratory sting meal, some English full breakfast, which is a good idea. And then they started moaning because the police come and got the geezer before they could get there. 2 women could get there. And they got a picture of the geezer being arrested. And that was it. What they did was they arranged for the police to stop this guy who'd been adult decoyed. And I know for a fact he was adult decoyed by Dirty Ches. Yeah. Next thing you know is they've gone in a cab, got their breakfast, phoned the police, told them to nick the geezer, finished their breakfast, gone in the toilet, had a quick piss, and run to the location around the corner and quickly took one pic, and that's their paedophile hunting. Mm-hmm. Look at Godiva when she was with Wes, another interesting character. All she'd done was walk up and down with a fag in her mouth. Getting herself on camera, look at me, I'm a hunter. Wes was 5% a hunter. He was shit. But he was hunting, but he was shit. These people, all they're going to do is come out with things to distract from the fact that she's brought this angel of death in, and they brought the craze in to shut me up, and it works out. That's my subject. It's connected to my case history. And they've fallen flat on their face.
Yeah.
End of.
Well, they've been trying to shut me up for long enough.
How long have they been doing that? How long? Since I've known you?
March 2018. March 2018, I think, the first. But obviously, because I didn't know who these fake profiles were till a lot later on. Do you know what I mean? Alts that they were using, and then probably a year later they were going live off that alt. But now I know that people swapped them about, you know, how people share them and stuff like that.
Now, I don't know if you've seen it, Joe, but
you never know who it is really in your inbox, do you?
What's that, sorry?
I said you never really know who it is in your inbox.
Yeah, but you learn, you evolve. I've learned that Wes is Robert Cooper, Desmond Tutu, and quite a few others. And other people who are in this group now, which is a wonderful thing. And I hope it don't last too long about these. I hope we get rid of them as soon as possible and get on with the real business of carrying on with other things. I don't know how it's going to evolve. We've got some really, really nice people on here. People that have suffered from these people. Now, the good thing is we might evolve into something a little bit more pleasant. We might become lifelong friends. You don't know. You don't know. And this is what's fearing them now. They know we've got a group of people that could battle them any day of the week, that could expose them totally. We've got, I know you're not going to believe me when I say it, we've got, forget Loopy, forget Tammy, they're nothing. They're nothing. They're just pawns. Forget Timmy. Yeah? Forget all that. We've got a Suffolk paedophile ring on the run. We've got a network of criminals, crazed, known criminals and paedophiles. We've got two of the massive structures that have come into this playground on the run. What are they going to do? Kill us? Really?
No, don't you think that Tammy was just trying to play the hard nut by saying that?
She was, because
she knows
because look,
but she has got Jan Lamb. She's got Jan Lamb on that. I dug that screenshot out of her welcoming Jan Lamb.
Yeah.
With the link to the Angel of the Underground video on YouTube. So it was obvious who it was, and very interesting life.
And also, has anyone got any proof that this woman really is part of Team Dimpact, the new Team Dimpact, sorry?
Well, I used to see her commenting and that on stuff.
Well, I called her
She
out.
was
I called her out
commenting at the
earlier. I called her out earlier, knowing that, you know, her her workers, you know, this internet mob, Godiva, Loopy, Tim, would actually get in touch with her and go, "She's just called you out." But I haven't heard anything. I haven't even had any messages in my inbox. You know, I'd be willing to meet up with them and film an interview. I'd be willing to meet up with this woman and film an interview with her in a public place with people around us in chairs and have a coffee while we're doing it in a nice tranquil place. I'd ask her, why do you feel it right to come in front of people that have already been abused? Because I'm not the only one that's been abused by the Suffolk paedophile ring on this set. There's loads more. I don't know them, but I know there's loads more. It's just common knowledge. How many kids have they abused? How many kids have gone through that channel? I'll say to her, do you think right coming into this?
Sorry, what age would be like their victims now if they were like 14 in that at that time?
Well, anything.
Because they might still be
anything from my age.
following.
Anything from my age.
They might be following hunting teams and stuff.
Yeah, but you've got to remember. The paedophile. You've got to remember the Crays are linked. Ronnie Cray worked with Lord Boothby and constructed this paedophile ring. God, fucking hell, my head's just gone now. The Suffolk paedophile ring. They made it.
Yeah.
Now, because the Crays have died, don't mean the paedophile ring's gone. They're still operating. There's kids. There is kids with them now. They're still there. So ages don't matter. There could be a 20-year-old on here that knows about it. There could be a 50-year-old. There could be a 70-year-old. There could be someone who's 98 and knows about it. It touched every kid. And this is...
How many Elm guest houses might there be around the country?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Just the Elm guest house.
Exactly.
There could be 100 of those all over the country.
How many kitties are online? Now you've said that, you know?
Yeah.
It's
so much easier to do online.
And if you look at case files on historical child abuse, like Chris Pantone of the Islington Care Home, look how Margaret Hodge reacted when he kept going to the authorities to report his sexual abuse, because he was all over the place. Dimitri Panton was all over the place. And what did Margaret Hodge say? He's a very confused young man. Well, he sued her for 20 grand. He sued her for 20 or 25 grand. I can't remember the amount, in court for saying that about him. But they still wouldn't listen to his story, and he still wasn't a survivor. They ridiculed.
Well, it's like Brian Harvey.
Oh my God! You know what?
To him. And he's got a Bill Maloney. He's mentioned Bill Maloney a few times as well.
Listen, Now, I don't agree with Bill Maloney, but I agree with Brian Harvey. I'm glad I see him in the context that I do. The way he expands his mind and opens his mind to everything. He's a survivor. He thinks of the worst case scenario all the time. So he comes over odd, a bit of a crank, not credible. But I listen to that sort of person, and I listen to him good. And I know Brian Harvey, you know, I'd love to say he's an idiot because of his, you know, the way he is, you know, like he's a ganja man now, and the way he was when he was younger, he was an idiot. Got drawn into that interview by the high-class paedophile ring, by the way, and he got bastardised and exposed as a taking blah blah because he's gone. They want him gone.
It was that environment, that lifestyle, that made him that way as well. You know what I mean? The pop industry, it's rife with drugs, and he was saying it was that Watkins that gave him the cocaine, his first cocaine when they were kids.
Yeah.
Weren't they, when they started?
Exactly.
He said that, like, to get them on the stage and stuff, isn't it?
Also, they could have. We don't know what happened with that story yet. And I'm being honest, because when you're a man, you don't want to come out with it. when I first come out with it, I had a legal team in my front room in my tower block, all these blokes in suits. Then there were strangers then. I felt a bit odd, but I've learned, obviously, over the last 7, 8 years to get to know them as, you know, real friends on a real level. You know, they care. If I need to talk to someone, I've got more than enough people to. I've got my fellow survivors. You know, so I wouldn't want to talk to any of them.
Well, if you ever had a word with those people, have they ever like screamed and shouted at you and called you a liar and called you an abuser and called you, you know
Never.
what I mean? Because that's the sort of support that survivors should.
Exactly.
Not this. Yeah,
I mean,
because how can you claim? It's like they choose which children to protect, which children to expose. They choose which survivors to support, which survivors to expose.
Yes.
I mean, they're awfully picky, aren't they?
And this is all in
really.
This is all in plain sight. Everybody listening, or anyone that listens over to this live, you've got your own mind. You can take in and read and assess it yourself. You don't need any of us talking about it now. All you've got to do is go on Loopy Lou's wall, Laura Cooper, or everyone knows what wall it is, and look at how she's reacting and how she's been reacting since I've been on the scene. I've left her alone so many times just to see a reaction. She can't leave me alone. She can't leave me alone.
Well,
and I got that as a sign.
I don't know.
I knew they were dodgy.
I was going to say, I don't know.
No, go on,
Sorry.
I apologise.
I was just going to say, I don't know if we'd be here now, actually, if she hadn't have started poking her nose in, saying that she'd heard of, saying that the video didn't exist that other people had saying they'd heard of JB. So she'd seen the evidence and she knew it was true, and that was it,
right,
basically, and having a real go at Nikki. But she had no business interfering in it. You know, why she got to involve herself? It's because all the scammers stick up for each other.
They're going to.
And how dare you ask for proof off Lulu? I mean...
No, I've been in situations where she's told Kay she's going to give her proof of something. Then suddenly, when Kay, I went to Kay, asked for it. Because I bet you any money we don't get it. Kay asked them. And Kay, if Kay's listening or hears this after, she'll know. And I hope this goes towards helping her realise the clarity in her head of what she's involved in. They went, oh God, I forgot the narrative again. They went to Kay. Oh God, what was we talking about? You know what I'm like. Don't you go the same, because I start laughing.
Well, I got to how Kay's being used again.
Oh yeah, well obviously. She's bounced back. Nah, look how they use her. They use every tactic they can use. And I've been thinking to myself, do you know how this all started? I went on there joking, because I like to joke. I'd rather laugh than cry, yeah? I went on there and said, you're cruel. How could you smoke with your dog in the room? I never even knew she had kids. No one knew. Only people in inboxes, but she never brought them on lives. But then when she had to bring them on, to use them as a tool, what mother would do that? She brought them on because they were called a spastic. And then she had, hello? Hello? Right, sorry.
Yeah.
She brought him on because he'd been called a spastic, right? She brought her son on alive. Shell Bell Chappelle was in the window going on about being, I'm his auntie. How dare you call him that, you retard? She used the word retard while he was there.
Oh.
I'm going to play it. I'll play it. I'll put it up in this section of videos I'm doing, like, of that's case scenario of how cool they can be to their own children. And then it was like, I thought, she just brought a sick child on alive.
I know. But the Wes is calling everyone a spastic and a cripple and a mong.
And a dog.
Regularly, his favourite word. And he likes posting...
And a dog shagger.
Memes of... he puts all the gifs of Down syndrome people in chat groups as well.
It's vile.
But that's okay because it's worse, apparently.
Exactly.
No, you tell me.
Right.
Right.
Watch this. I said one thing wrong when I was battling them. I said someone 16, but they like a 6. Then they asked Anna what it was exactly.
Yeah.
She said, you were 6 and you bled like a 6. I've got it on tape. I can prove what was said.
Yeah.
But I don't need to, because that will just get us off the narrative. But it just goes to show that's what she had on me, and she carried on bringing it out. You see Anna in the comments running around. Yeah, he said that to me, replying. Yeah, rallying up the support that I said this one thing. But look at what Wes is allowed to say.
You're not saying you're a hunter or protecting children anyway, though.
Thank you. But they are, and look how they're acting. Worse than the person.
Exactly. So they're the ones that are exposing children. But that was what I was going to say about. You could say the same about Mark Pickford as well, because if he used to be quite funny.
Yeah,
he used to he used to get
sorry.
near the mark, but
I got accused of being.
he used to get near the mark.
Sorry, Joe, I got accused of being him. He was so funny at the beginning. Honestly,
yeah. But then they got into his head when he was grieving and everything as well.
Exactly.
But he was still online abusing because he'd got them in their inbox probably.
That's what I mean. But that makes you. Why is he doing it? That makes you. Why would he do that? Why would he go? Why would a man leave a child in the situation it was, and go outside to take pictures of Normie Hunter and TGA in their hoods? What possesses that? All this stuff is all very, very, very strange, unrational, no empathy, bizarre behaviour. And it's worrying.
Well, but you've got to wonder. That makes me just wonder why behave that way. Why, in the name of protecting children? No, I'm sorry, not the way my children have been treated. It's like, don't my children matter? What have they ever done? They've been through enough.
Exactly. But as far as these people are concerned now, what they'll do is they'll abuse you now online when you're a survivor as well. What they're accusing, if what they're accusing you is true, you're a survivor as well.
Exactly, they don't get that. By their own logic, by Loopy's own logic, right, when she was accusing Chelsea of stealing pictures and that would make them a nonce by her logic. But you've got everyone else doing it around her.
Exactly.
And they're her friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, so all her friends, by her own logic, are nonsense.
Let's go back to this other one when it started getting a bit heated. Anna Agafulu, and I've got, well, obviously I've got the proof. All I've got to do is inbox my mate Sam. She's always had it screenshotted. We know the order of the day, right? Anna Agafulu sent a picture back to a survivor holding her 6-year-old child. Sent it back to a survivor. My friend, a survivor, yeah? A good friend, right? Then, when I started going after him for it, quite rightly so, angry, I come out with that comment that time. When I went for him with a vengeance, yeah? Laura admitted to taking... No, then I got him for taking that Lisa woman's baby, a little mixed-race baby. But I'm talking about in a nappy, christening picture with belly showing and that. When they took that, and sent it back to her, oh my God. It was Angela Agathulu. Anna Agathulu did that. So then I went into him, then it changed. Loopy come back with, it wasn't Anna that sent the picture to your mate, it was me actually. Does that make it better? That makes it even worse now.
Oh no!
Right? Because she's got a baseball bat with your name on it. Because she said she's got a baseball bat with a name on it. Well, I've got chronicled it. My mate Samantha, I said something taking a piss out of Loopy. My mate Samantha, who's not in this arena, don't watch things. She's more into dogs. She's from our dog side world. A good friend, yeah? My support in the real world, yeah? All she did was like a post that I was taking the piss out of Loopy. Then Agatha Gulu went and got that picture, sent it back to her. Now, my mate said, I've got a baseball bat with her name on it, lol.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's how she reacted. She goes on, my friend goes on roast groups and thought it was funny. But I didn't, because she's a survivor. And she doesn't deserve to have that, because she liked to post because they're trying to shut me up. How many people have I got close to have been brought down? It's because I've rattled them.
Sorry,
I've rattled them. From day one, I rattled them. They show it. I've always known what it was, but I didn't know. And then when she put up that cray thing, that's when I thought, it's on. It's on. Not on my watch, mate. Yeah. No way. They're going to be survivors. They're not going to get one survivor.
Steve.
Yeah?
Listen, Heidi's made a good comment. They attack you with the words that would destroy a survivor, call you a nonce.
Exactly.
I was implied to be one with the Godfather and his thirsties followed suit.
Yeah.
Fucking, and that's what they actually go for, the jugular every time. They go for anything they can get to hurt you with. It'll be a job, it'll be whatever they can get their hands on. Like, if you've got no kids, it'll be the RSPCA, or like they did with Chelsea, the landlord, her dad.
I don't want to detract from the topic, but quickly I will say, as a dog lover and an expert with dogs, Chelsea, bless her, yeah, she got an RSPCA visit, and honestly, course her little one was chubby. Course she was. Coco was chubby, overweight, but then she was slim. Chelsea done the right thing. And I know they take the piss. How can it be an RSP registered dog when she just had a report? The reason being it's an RSP, you can say that, is because she made Coco's health better. End of story. But they trolled her for that. Even when she'd done the right thing. Chelsea's a better dog owner than Loopy. No. Chelsea's a better dog than a lot of them. And that's what they do. Also, back to that point.
Have you been back today? I was wondering, have you been?
Back to Heidi McKinnon.
Bonnie.
Back to
Yvonne Smith, is that live, Betty? Or?
Very relevant. Who was it that said that comment? Was it Heidi McGuinness that you read out? Right. Yeah. Heidi's right, but also you've got to remember. No. You've got to remember when people are abused. It's stages sometimes. Sometimes they're clever paedophiles, especially in this Suffolk paedophile ring. I'll tell you how it goes. I'll be honest. What happens is you get abused. Then you go, that's the first stage. Yeah. The second stage is when they've had enough of you. Then you get the mental abuse and beaten up. Yeah. Like me. I was into music, yeah, and singing. And every time I was in the hall practicing an instrument, I loved it. I soaked it all up. But then it was harder, if you know what I mean. But then this teacher would come up, beat you up, say to you, you're ugly, you've got a long nose, no one's ever going to love you. They say this to a young mind. So you're there to be educated. You're at school to be educated. So you're willing to take everything in. You're going to take that in. Because that's what teachers do. They educate you. And then when I left school, I was all over the place. I was a troubled child, confused, wild. But that's what they do to you. And that's what these are doing. It's a paedophilic total routine. They know we're survivors. They hurt us and hurt us and hurt us to make us break down, and disappear. And this is for children.
And this non-believing, not believing, making people prove themselves.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
also, I've
I've
noticed. It's a very big thing for a survivor to need to be believed, and they also abuse that knowledge as well. That's why Ronnie used to be sitting lurking in survivor groups, apparently.
Mm.
So he was probably learning all the biggest fears of survivors to use against them.
And what man hunting chooses an alien and all? Ronnie Craig.
So
What
close to
man
that, yeah.
in his right mind? Let's look at cadaver hunters. All right, is it about? I'm never answer numbers I don't know. Let's look at cadaver hunters. Is it really? What does it mean, cadaver? Do they mean a naked woman on a horse, or do they mean cadaver as in a dog smelling blood or a body?
That's cadaver.
Yeah, cadaver hunters. Cadaver hunters. Listen. I'm on low power.
That's with the sea.
I'm on low power, so I'm going to have to change the view of the camera to just nothing, yeah? So I can stick my charger in?
Yeah.
Right. Done.
Does Helen want to come on, or wonder? I've been rabbiting on.
Yeah, but we've got to stay on top.
I'm alright. I've got my liquid on today. I'm okay.
I just want to know in comments, Heidi, would you like to come on? Because I would absolutely love to speak to you.
Oh, Heidi, yeah, she's probably... Because
I'll try and
give your fingers a rest,
I'll try and bring her on this way.
Okay. Can you boot me off? I've got a green line come up the side of my screen again, which only happens on...
Right, I'm going to boot you off. All right?
All right.
You take it easy. All right, bye, Joe. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Right, let me try and bring Heidi on. Boom. Right, I know I can do it. I've learned the other way. Hang on. Right. Yes. Oh, yes. Approve. I've got it on approval for certain reasons. Adding. Heidi!
Hello, how are you?
How are you, Heidi? That's the
I'm
question.
okay.
I'm good. No, you was concerned earlier, but just to let you know, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm very good.
Good. I didn't realise it wasn't till the other night, and I'm like, I'm sure I've spoke to him before, and then it finally clicked, and I went,
Heidi,
I know who that was.
Heidi, before you say anything, could you not mention the
Oh,
actual...
I won't mention. No, of course not.
Thank you.
Of course not.
It's a real connection.
Of course not. No, of course not.
Thank you, Heidi.
But I remember who you were.
I remember who you was. I used to watch you.
They always say, you know, that, oh, look at them attacking, you know, but they're allowed to, you know, and it's a case of, if they never heard of you poke a bear enough times, you will get bit back.
Exactly.
You know,
and if that bear is also watching survivors being tormented, it's going to be such a big bite. That bite's going to go. They're going to feel my teeth on them for the rest of their life.
Yep, and it's like, and then because, you know, they don't feel strong enough, just one or two, they then build a pack up, and then they attack you in a pack, and it's like a pack of hyenas. And they circle, and then when they think, right, we've wore them down, they're weak, let's go. And then they start. But what they fail to remember is, you know, I've said it many times, you can put me on Mars as many times as you want, but I'll guarantee each and every time I get back up, I will be stronger. Don't care how many times you come at me. Call me a liar. Call me everything you want. I've been through the court system. I am no liar. I pride myself in my honesty. If I make mistakes, I am the first one to do it openly and privately.
As
But
you always,
don't say that. Sorry.
sorry, I said as you always have. You've always been uh, a transparent character. You've always been clear. You know, you've never ever been nasty to anyone. There's been times I've heard you get a bit overheated, but who hasn't?
Yes.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. And I think it's when they continually call you a liar, you're a liar. You know, and that's the worst thing you could ever say, apart from calling a survivor a paedophile or implying they're one, but calling them a liar. And then it's that process starting again because your abuser tells you, nobody will believe you, nobody will believe you, nobody will believe you. So it's starting that process all over again. And it's like, but now I'm like, I just block them. And then they fire out profile after profile after profile, and it's like, I'm not interested. And then when they're caught, they then say, oh, well, everybody knew who I was. Yeah, your friends or your friends knew who you were. The people you were attacking did not have a clue.
It's wake up time. I believe, Heidi, that there's survivors and there's survivors. We've got the survivors that have got through the struggle and started saying, I am a fucking survivor. I'm an hard little bastard, yeah? That's me and you, yeah? Then you've got the survivors that have mentally been fucked up in the head and are running around their days. Well, we as survivors, we're not going to abuse them. We're going to try and make them, we're going to try and build them up. And that's why we exist. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, as I've always said, I would rather help anybody up than put them down.
Thank
you know,
you.
and I don't know about you, if you've ever spoken in your real life to people that, you know, have also been through abuse. You know, I've spoken to many people, you know, throughout times in my life, you know, through different programmes, what have you. And I have never known anybody in the real world, you know, that I know as a survivor, just like myself, or as I like to call myself, a fighter, you know, that would actually go at them. From what I've seen here, I've never seen anything like it. And it's soul destroying for something that I thought had so much potential. But then again, I always did say they would destroy it from the inside out, and that's exactly what they've done. But what's happening now is a lot more people are opening their eyes and seeing what's going on. But unfortunately, for everyone that opens their eyes, they've got 10 ready to take the place.
Once it's regulated, you're not regulated, but told, once it comes round to legislation and you're not allowed to do it no more, these people will move on to something else. They will move on to something else. Yes. They're all talking to each other. They're all connected. They're all partners in crime. They're all part of the same syndicate. It's a syndicate.
Yep.
Without a doubt, it's a syndicate. It's a very clever syndicate because it involves some major players that make out, oh, no, I don't know nothing about Facebook. Oh, just press that button, you know, like when Laura sends me a message. But yet, that person knows how to do £100 of transactions for posh meals to a woman in Newcastle, and her 15-year-old daughter is phoning up.
Yeah.
Work that out.
Oh, slip.
You know what I mean? They really think people are fools.
Yep.
But
sadly, people are being taken under them.
Were they doing that, Heidi, for us to jump on them and make ourselves look like liars? That's what I've been doing. I've been jumping on Timmy all year. And was that done? Was that happening to make me look like a liar? Because for a survivor, that's the worst thing you can do. Like you said earlier, calling a survivor a liar, right? Look at my case scenario.
Yep.
I left boarding school when I was maybe 14 and a half. I come back to London. I complained at County Hall with my Scottish social worker, the best person I've ever met. He was brilliant, yeah. Memorable when you're a survivor, makes sense?
Yes, yes.
Right. Vividly memorable person. Loved it. I went to complain at County Hall.
Uh-huh.
All that happened was I was just put in a mainstream school. I went into this mainstream school that was on my doorstep where I'm living now. It's knocked down now. I went into this mainstream school. The classroom, everyone was shouting and screaming and talking about this one was going to shag this one. It was all madness. No one could learn. I'd gone from my perfect boarding school life, informed on him, and I got put in
Yeah.
a mess. I'll never forget
Yeah.
the day I went to that school. I went into that school, I saw all this confusion, and I felt like I needed to go to the toilet in a bad way. I
Yeah.
jumped on the bus and I ran home, and I shut the door. That's the first time I felt a panic attack. I didn't even realise it.
Yeah.
I was just scared
Yeah.
of school, so I never went back.
Yeah.
But you've got to remember, that's to tell someone they're a liar, a survivor, a liar. You've got to remember, I went and told them the truth. Now I've done this. Now I'm looking in the newspaper, and he's got his own school with Falklands War Heroes kids in it. He started his own school.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, they don't believe me. They don't believe me. They don't believe me, and that hurt. Even when he got arrested, I had to go to people online and apologise that they never listened to me. So can you imagine how you feel when you're called a liar? It makes me teary talking about it. But they don't understand emotion. They want to break down Steve Johnson. They want to break you down. They want to break Joe Mossop down. They want to do this. They want to do that. They have just got a catalogue of cruelty. That's all they're doing.
And, you know, I've noticed as well, and I noticed it more so when my post was lifted from in here, and not that I bother, because anything I say, I'll repeat it anyway. But it was more the fact that they just picked up that one line and concentrated on that one line where I said about Laura saying that she's glad she's not a survivor. But it wasn't what she said, it was the way she said it and how she used it in a sentence. But I also said, below it, I know she was trying to make a point across or whatever it was I said, but I was still saying what you said there was so offensive. And it wasn't the words you used, it was the way you used it and put it into a sentence as if it's something to beat another survivor down. And that's what they do. It's like, oh, how can we shut them up? Well, we've tried this, we've tried that. Right, we'll do the worst thing. We'll call them a nonce.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, sorry, bitches, I'm still here.
Right. They do it and get away with it. But the reason they get away with it is because they've got their little followers that are part of the same ring of online scammers on there supporting them. Look at Anna, always running around victim. There's so many of them that play victims. Yet Loopy plays the hard nut all the time. Apparently, what I'm saying don't affect her. I get messages in my inbox. I don't read them. Could you stop bullying Laura because she's suicidal? Why? Because I said something that made sense the night before? No.
Yep, I've got loads like you. I've got loads, but I don't even read them. But I'm not interested.
Yeah. Especially when she says she's not a survivor, and she's been saying it for a long time now to me. I think if you're not a survivor, how dare you do this to a survivor and make out you're legit? And
then not only that, you know, and this goes across the board, you know, for the hunters that say they're not a survivor, but they've come into it to protect children, and we want to give survivors a voice back. You know, we want to do this for survivors. But then, in the very next breath, they're beating the survivor down, making them ashamed, make them feel the guilt, you know, when you self-hate and self-loathing that they felt, or that they feel every single day, that they ramp it up. And that, unfortunately, there isn't people strong enough at times. Now, I know of one suicide that's happened, you know, and that breaks my heart to think that people that proclaim they're here for children, they're here for survivors, etc., have actually driven somebody to suicide. And this is going back, before everybody jumps on the, you know, because you know how they love to twist things, this is going way back. So it's not anything recent. This is going back, I'd say, at least 2 years. And that breaks my heart.
Well, don't let it weaken you. Don't let it weaken you.
Oh, won't it make my resolve stronger?
Yeah,
it makes my resolve even more stronger.
It's exactly the same as me. Can you imagine how many classmates I had that are dead?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
That doesn't be a thing about it.
And then put it down. I'll put it away. I'll throw it. I'll discard that. Yeah, in the bin. Imagine how many lives, girls and boys, children, have been ruined by the Suffolk paedophile ring that Ronnie Cray was in.
Yep. Yeah, you know, and that makes me laugh because there's such prolific gangsters. One was an actual women abuser, you know, and the other one was a paedophile,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like,
No,
obviously,
people,
you know,
people are losing the point. When he was married to his wife, Reggie, sorry.
Yep.
When he was married to his wife, he had the downstairs flat.
Yep.
Upstairs was Ronnie's flat. All the rooms were in the same places. So if she was in the bedroom, she could hear what was in the bedroom. If she was in the front room, she could hear what was in the front, and so on and so on and so on. Ronnie
Yep.
used to have his parties with Lord Boothby and the young boys. And Reggie, instead of being with his wife, chose to spend his time upstairs. That's not the faults of a man with a woman. That's a paedophile.
Yep.
Straight through.
Yep.
She got
what
over it and left him and then committed suicide. He did that to her.
But they're doing it here as well, you know, they've turned them into some people that they should idolise, you know, the very same thing that they've done with the Krays, and they think, you know, they might have seen the film with the Krays, you know, with the guys out of Spandau Ballet, or the new one with Tom Hardy. That was what it was really like. There's nothing like that. You know, that's a film. You know, that is a film. That isn't what happened.
Exactly.
Go and research. Go and research and read exactly what they got up to.
Do you remember? I need to explain something there. You know, you've mentioned the film. If anyone
Sorry,
does
quickly, Harry. Yes, Joe. Sorry, I was just answering Joe there, Harry. Sorry for interrupting you.
What was you answering her to?
She was asking me when I said about the person that had committed suicide a way back, and she said the name, and I'm like, yeah.
Sorry. I thought it might have been something too irrelevant, like a point in the
No.
topic.
No.
Well, you know, it's actually, do you know what? I am just totally shocked that all these things have been happening. I've been wondering why for the last 14 months I've been receiving this total abuse. Now today, Heidi,
yep,
Laura opened the old Tyler Jones exposure that me and Shell Belchapelle, Helen and Kay started to expose online scammers. Yeah, they nicked it back. Shell Belchapelle give it to her when she went running back to her, saying, "I'm going to expose her." I haven't exposed her yet because we haven't got to that part yet. She's become irrelevant.
Yeah.
She's not a topic anymore. She was just someone being used and was scamming money to go on online internet bingo. Thousands and thousands, right, through this network. So she had to take one for the team, and Loopy pissed her off. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the same with our other friend, you know?
I could tell you many stories, not about Laura or anything like that, about money, etc., but that's not for something to discuss online. Not at the moment, anyway.
If someone wants to talk about it, you can get in touch with me through Helen and Joe first, because I don't want to be answering anything to women in inbox, you know, cold. But if someone talks to the lady first, or even you soon, even you, Heidi, because I know you're not
very much
you're on level to be capable to, you know, control your feelings and deal with it properly. If anyone wants to talk about financial abuse online and they're a survivor or not even whatever, you know, go and talk to my ladies first, and they'll make a three-way call so that we all know what's going on, and you can share your information with me, but not survivor stories, please.
Yeah.
Go to the relevant, recognised, credible, insured, safe place. Don't go
and just to say to people as well, because, you know, I know there's a huge waiting list to deal, you know, with survivors, etc. But see if you're actually, you know, desperate, you know, you really feel in a bad way, you can actually contact a SARC unit, and I'm sure they'll have one of those in every major city. You know, contact a SARC unit, and they will squeeze you in somewhere if anything has happened to you.
If
contact
you're in turmoil and vulnerable.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Which you will be. Which you will be, quite rightly, as well.
Yep.
So if anyone's listening and they want to use that service, please, I beg you, use that service, yeah?
Yep. And
now,
also, they give you advice in regards to, I mean, and it's the police will refer you to that as well, but they give you advice if you've been through the court process, etc. They walk you through and talk you through everything. And if you need be, one of them will go to the court with you, etc. You know, this is what the true voice of survivor should be. That's what it should be. Promoting stuff like that. No saying, oh, we'll go and join this group on Facebook. I've learned that the hard way. I wouldn't trust any of them.
Me, I trust no one. And anyone I've talked to, I've never revealed my true survivor story. I've always told them other things, so that's why I always get, your mother hated you, didn't she? Your mother hated you.
Yeah.
They obviously got it wrong there, didn't they?
Yep. And for what I told part of my survivor story, I've never spoken about what actually happened. I never will. And especially not to a bunch of strangers on the internet. Ain't happening. Never.
And I've come out with my story today because I felt passion, I felt fire, and I felt offended by Team Impact bringing in the Angel of Death. The link to the paedophile ring. That's all that's happened today. I evolved. I was like, stop all this pettiness and accusing people because you think you're right. Do it because you know you're right is better.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely, exactly.
We are a fire to them. We're a fire to them because we're survivors. They don't realise they're not survivors. I call them the overprivileged ones because they've got a real life.
See, my honest opinion, I don't think the majority of them could even walk a step through anybody that's been through something like that.
Thank you.
They would crumble and fall at the first handle. The daily thoughts, the night terror, everything associated with it, they couldn't survive it. Not a chance. Not a chance. And sadly, there is people out there that haven't survived it. You know, there is people out there that haven't survived it. You know, sadly, really, really sadly. You know, but there was, you know, like the way that they try to raise the stigma for mental health, etc. They were starting to make progress, speaking about abuse and encouraging people to speak about abuse. You know, we've seen all the adverts on the TV and it was great. And all this is done, you know, it might have had the best of intentions at the beginning, but all they've done is drive every anybody that's currently surviving and going through abuse, you know, from whatever age, you know, because abuse can happen at any age, and driven it fast into shame.
Heidi, sorry. Helen, I'll bring you on in a minute. Sorry, I wasn't really looking at the screen.
Right, I'll jump off, Harry. I'll jump off and let Helen on.
Heidi, it's been a pleasure, a real pleasure speaking to you, yeah?
Likewise, likewise.
Especially knowing I know you, and you really are a 100% strong survivor like me.
Ditto. Same right back at you.
Love
Same. You'll get Terry. But
no. I love you, and you know it. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Same back.
Have a good night, yeah.
You too. You too.
Right,
night.
Bye, love. Wow. When I started this group, I didn't even see this. I swear to God, didn't even see this. Let's hear Helen. I'm getting good at this. Come on, Helen. My rock. Adding. Come on. Where's my tea? It says adding. It's still saying adding. You might have to go out and come in. Let's wait a while. Wow. Heidi's brilliant. I spoke to Heidi quite a while back. on a survivor group, a real survivor group, a really good, someone who helped me with conversations through the night. Let's just say that, yeah? Helped me, got me through the night. Right, no answer from the live video guest. Helen, go out and come back in, please. And you know, I don't know. It's just a small world and how things happen. Right, it's not that. Right, let me try now. Let me try now, Helen. Is it that? Right, here. I've got to block you here first. Hang on, I'm just working something out. How else can I do it? Where's your comment? Where's your comment? Just looking for you, Helen, to try and bring you in through comments. Weird, yeah, it's not going through. It must be connection or distance or different networks. Oh, I've got you as Helen. Let's try that. Oh yeah, I can add you on that, even if yeah. Hey, my rock, Helen.
Hey, how's you?
How you, darling?
Yeah, I'm good. How's you?
I'm buzzing, happy.
Yeah, I was absolutely buzzing at Heidi because she's one of my absolutely Scottish brilliant ladies. I loved her. Do you know this? I think I'm going back, Steve, probably about 2 years ago, the first time I heard Heidi. She can maybe confirm this. It was about an Easter weekend. She was out in the back garden at the time when she came on Loopies. And I'm sure Heidi will probably confirm this and spoke up. It was the first time I heard her.
Wow.
And since then, she's gone on and on and on. A lot of things have happened, as you know. You know, people change their views, their opinions, and everything like that. Heidi was probably a follower where I followed and all the rest of it. So, but I admire, and you know what? Everything she said was the truth, and that's what I love about her.
And you obviously gained the right respect the right way, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like that about people on here, but it's like I could only count them on one hand at first, and now.
So what are you trying to say about me?
Yeah, now I need to be an octopus to count the good people I've got around me.
All right, so I'll remember that when you're talking about me.
What do you mean?
You're just saying I'll have to count in my hand about the octopuses in my hand, who you can trust.
No, I'm saying there's more people I can trust now around me than I could ever before.
Right.
That's all I meant. I meant before, I couldn't hardly trust anyone. I trusted you, I trusted Joe, I trusted very few people, but now...
What do you mean you trusted me? I'm hoping you still do.
No, obviously I still do, because I'm still counting on those fingers. I don't understand how you're reading it wrong.
Oh, right, okay.
I meant in a good way. I mean, I couldn't trust people before this group. It was only a few people, you, Joe, and a couple of others. But now this group's here, I feel more comfortable because I know there's people here.
I was actually on your first group, if you remember.
Yeah, I remember that. What? Yeah, I remember that very, very well. But what I'm saying is, then those were the days when I only trusted a few. But with this group, it's like we're meeting people and hearing from people that have gone through the same thing with Loopy. And we're stronger now.
Yeah. And now you're listening to stories that obviously Heidi's come out with, and
yep.
Heidi is a very strong woman, and I'm 100%, with her. You've heard mine. Who's given my story out? Did I give it out?
Thank you. Who gave out what they thought was my story?
Exactly.
Our friend. Our friend.
So I know where Heidi's coming from,
Yeah.
and I've always backed Heidi 100%, and always will do.
And they're doing this on lives about me and you. But imagine how many people they're doing it to in their inboxes.
I don't. What do you give a damn like?
What's that?
Do you give a damn about the inboxes and all the rest of it? Do you give a damn about that?
Not really.
Well, why are you saying it? So, how many people are giving it to inboxes? So, what are you worrying about?
Yeah, but I'm not. Well, obviously, if they're going to be abusing survivors in their inbox, I'm going to be worried. Why would?
How can I be more abused than what I have done now, apart from it being put out?
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying if they can do that to me and you at our stories, yeah. If they can do something nasty like that, imagine.
All because I called somebody a liar.
Yeah, but imagine what they can be doing to people in their inboxes as well. If they can do that on a live to us, they can be crucified.
Do you remember I told you about the group I was in? That I'm not going to bring them down because I was quite happy in there. I had a conversation with this woman because this person we're talking about, as in the big K, had said, if any of you need to go into survivors group, please inbox me, as in K, and I'll send you into the right direction. Are you having a joke? Would you trust her to send anybody into any survivors group?
I wouldn't want anyone to go into a survivors group.
No, I had to get in touch with this person to let them know this is what she's doing.
Yeah.
Please inbox me and I will send you to the right person.
As in a qualified professional?
No. To a survivors group.
But you know I wouldn't recommend that.
I'm just telling you what's going on.
Oh.
And I had to inbox this person
Tell them.
to let them know what was going on.
Oh, thank you. Now I understand you. Sorry, I got that wrong. I thought you were saying, I come over like you sent them, but you never. Right, I know what you're saying. But that's an obvious thing to do. You can't, as a survivor, how can you watch another survivor heading towards that? You can't.
Exactly.
You've got to stand in front of them, haven't you?
Yeah. How do you think, I mean, Heidi will know, because of what's happened about my story, 3 times it's come out.
I know.
It's like with crocodile tears, and it's like, I did this, I did that, I watched this, I watched that. All I've called her is a liar. There's never been any proof put up about what I've accused her of, which is up to her. But at the same time, she's put my story out 3 times. And in between that, she's left a voicemail on my house phone, early hours.
Have you still got it?
Disgusting.
Still got it?
No, it's gone to the police now. I can't discuss it.
Right, sorry.
It's gone to the police, discussing voicemails about what my abuser done to me. And then in Drunk Lies, I've got the videos, trying to phone me 3 times after that. But the pillar of the community, as we call, Miss Emma Peppa Pig, was brought into it. And I did bring into it was like, can't remember. She'll probably put the voice notes out as well. When I said that you've been brought into this, and it was like, no, get in touch with me. Why are you getting in touch with me? Because your name's been brought into it. That's why I'm saying your name's been brought into it. Oh well, get in touch with you. Nothing to do with me. Yes, it is when your name's been brought into it. And as I said the first time round, she's done a lie with Kenny Monaghan saying that Emma Pepper wanted Kenny Monaghan's cock in her mouth. It's like on a lie. This woman is delusional, breaking down, and not right. And they're using her. We know that, Steve.
Exactly. They're abusing her. They're abusing her. If they can parade a woman.
How many times did I say to you before the friendship was broken? It was like, she's done me. I'm exhausted. I can't go anywhere, but
Yeah.
I heard the recording you took before the friendship was broken off. It was like, I'm done. I can't do anymore.
I know. I know. I was there. I was there.
How silly was she? It was like, and the amount of times you says to her, don't go live, don't go live, don't go live. Did she listen?
And can I just clarify something for people listening? With Kay, what happened was we partied. She was always friendly with me, you know, and I could see what was going on. But I thought, you know, come on, I'm a broken survivor. I can't be even thinking that far down the road, to tell you the truth. You know, I thought I did, but I can't now. But with her, when we detached from her, that's when she lost the plot, because we were friends. We were friends. But me, I was thinking different. I was thinking, you came from Loopy. I was quite paranoid. I thought, you come from Loopy. You came to me from Loopy, because I remember she started trolling me on Loopy's live. She started trolling me in my inbox. I still got the messages. And she was trying to have a go at me, being vulgar. And then she's gone on my profile and looked and thought, oh shit, this geezer really knows about dogs. Oh my God, he's better to have as a friend as a foe, because I obviously struggle with my mental health and looking after my dog. That's how that happened. That's how that little friend, she went, when we met, she went, do you remember how we started talking? And I said, yeah, because I weren't going to have a go at someone because I don't know what you're going through. But I did. That's empathy. But these people haven't got it. They haven't got it. You know, she didn't have empathy when she come out with your... Look how many times she come out with your story, Helen.
3 times.
3 times.
All because I've called her a liar.
Are you telling me someone who comes online and outs a survivor who she's been crying about for many months now, as I wasted 6 months of my life, blah blah blah. She's obviously showing people, they can see, oh my God, they were really friends. Loop.
Have I ever responded? Have I ever retaliated?
Because we know she's got mental health problems. Plain and simple.
Never have I retaliated.
We can't get involved. She's in turmoil. She's being used. And they're parading around. They're bullying. Same as usual. They don't care. But the people that don't see it for a reason, as far as I'm concerned, because I trust no one.
I get where you're coming from about the trust thing.
Yeah.
I just want you to verify. Have I now, like, I've listened. Tony Gates has got voice notes out there. We can put them up, and it's all about Kay's response. I'm supposed to have told her for the past 6 months. Now, the end of February, we fell out going into March. I did one live in the Cockney banter to call her out because we found out she was under that stupid name, right?
Yeah.
And you know who all came on board that night. Did Kay come? Because she kept jumping from group to group saying, oh, I've not got the right to reply, I've not got the right to reply.
Yeah.
So we called her out that night. Did she appear? No. Who appeared?
Exactly.
Who appeared that night, Steve, on the Cockney banter? Laura Cooper, Anna Aga, whatever her name is, and all the followers.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Kay, but they all jumped on board. You remember that night? That was in the Cockney banter, because I says, if she doesn't appear, she's been under this alt for 2 weeks, but she was jumping about from group to group saying she didn't have a right to reply.
Yeah.
And I says that night, I says, after this, if she doesn't come on, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that was probably about the beginning of March, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of March, and I went, if she doesn't reply, I'm done. And that's when it happened. I'm done. So can anybody on here, there's probably not a lot, but anybody in here, tell me that I've done a lie, responding to her, retaliating to her, answered anything, answered any comments? No, because I haven't. We're now into July. and it's still going on.
Yeah, but you got to remember that proves she's got mental health problems.
It does, but in between, we've got things going on now because she's threatened me with my abuser. And I'm not going to say any more because obviously you know why, Steve. I can't. She's threatened me with my family. Let's see if she's a mother kiddie fiddler. She's bringing my family into it.
Saying your family hate you.
Yeah.
How?
And my grandchildren don't get to see me because I'm vile. And yet other people, even, I mean, on my Facebook, you've seen it, Steve. On my Facebook, what's there? My family, my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And yet she's turning around and saying, I don't get to see them because I'm vile.
But she says lots of things that ain't true because she can't tell the truth. She's not in a good place. She has to make things up. She's not gonna say things and say, oh, look at me. She's not gonna come online and go, I'm suffering, I've got problems, and look at my place and blah 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 blah. She's not gonna do that. She's gonna be vile and vile and vile. That's what her.
So why are all these stupid people listening to what she's saying? All I says to you is, right, she's bringing out, I said about the tsunami. What? No, I didn't. A tsunami story came out on Laura Cooper's Live by somebody on the survivors. All I've done is called her a liar. And I'm going to stand by that because she changed her story so many times over the weeks and months I've known her. It's changed so much from this to that, from this to that.
We've got the time.
Can you just verify? No, can you just verify this?
We've got registered timelines on her. We started.
Right.
We put them out now, but we had registered timelines on her proving she was not a survivor.
Do you remember the night she was taken into the cells after she did that live on Laura Cooper's?
Yes.
Laura Cooper, she couldn't go live on anybody's. It was like she was losing so many accounts.
I know, but
Laura Cooper got in touch with me and says to me, it was like about 8, 9, 10, 11 times she was getting to Laura Cooper, let me on live, let me on live, let me on live. How many times do you tell her not to go live? Not just this time, but many a time.
Also,
how many times?
And also about 100,000 times, thousands of times in all, but 100 times before that live. But I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna have to say it is. It is. The reason Laura let her do that is because she was using her, throwing her around. Look at when Moonpig started. How we all went into it just to try and get a resolvement, just to get a resolvement.
And then she turned round and said, I really wasn't the one that pushed that Moonpig, it was Helen.
Right. Well,
really?
Yeah, exactly. Because she's got problems. You can't take no notice of little petty things like that. Let's look at it this way. She's come to us. We fought Moonpig. We fought Moonpig not for her. We fought Moonpig for the survivors, possible survivors in that collection because we smelt a rat. I did anyway. I did. I don't know.
I told her at the time, Steve,
It wasn't a situation.
The relationship was getting bad, and it was. You knew. I told you. I says, I'm getting drowned. I'm feeling drained with this. Where are you? Why are you not supporting me? Where are you? Why are you not supporting me? I'm on live. Why are you not supporting me? And it's like, I'm either at work or I'm at my daughter's. And it's like, check your WhatsApp. I don't do WhatsApp. I'm like, why are you not online? Why are you not commenting? Why are you not doing this? Please support me on this because you got that as well.
Yeah, of course. When I was on bans from Loopy's network of blockers, but they can't do it now. It gives me a chance to say something.
Because she was constantly going live after live after live, and I know for a fact you told her not to. And I think you've got a recording there saying, I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want. I'll go live when I want.
Yeah, yeah. I also got a recording of that day when I was telling her don't go live because she wanted to go live because someone said something to Timmy that got him rattled. And I had him where I wanted him. And I got Loopy to take notice because I sent a character there to say it, to say this white lie, to say that this card the person's posted had bacon in it to make them worry that they were going to get
Yeah, I
racial
remember that.
stuff. Yeah, right, watch this.
I remember
And
that.
I got the message through someone that they had to listen to.
Do you know what sticks in my mind is the bacon?
Yeah, right. Now that got that. I had the CCTV of one of their networks coming to my house, posting a card, and then running those strides. I'll never forget those strides that person took. Right. Now, oh God, I forgot my narrative again. Sorry, people, you're going to have to think with me. I told her, I told her not to go live, and not to mention that. And I said it 100 times.
The last live, I'm just gonna refresh your memory.
Right, hang on,
The last
hang on.
live,
Sorry, hang on, Helen, hang on. I haven't finished. 1 minute, please. Now she's gone on the live, and the first thing she mentioned was, "Yeah, you got caught on CCTV, didn't you? That name."
Yeah, and you actually told her not to do it.
She had to do it. It's her mental health condition.
You had somebody else in line that put that to an end, and you told her not to do it.
Yep, and she come out with that. Do you remember the gun massacre?
Yeah, this is what I'm going on about. The last live I heard, and Laura Cooper, if you're listening to this live, which you probably will do, is you'll know I got in touch with you about this because you allowed her to do that live because she was blocked on every account she put up. And you were the one that told me she got in touch with you about 8, 9, 10 times, and you were busy, you couldn't do it, you were really annoyed that you let her go on that live when this gun thing come out towards Julie Jordan.
No, I don't think it was about the gun thing. I think.
Oh yeah. She went on Laura's. That's where it happened. See.
Oh
she went
yeah. What was it, Julie Jordan? Not Julie.
Against Julie Jordan.
Yeah.
And do you remember the gun massacre?
Yeah.
And she says it was towards Julie Jordan, and it was like we googled it and tried to find out, and she went. She was going towards Julie Jordan. She says, "Do you remember the gun massacre? Like your town?" It was like, "I'll just leave this for you," as if she's a part of a mafia gang, you know, with guns and everything like that.
Yeah, but
we googled it. Do you remember it? And nothing came up.
And when we
and yet she called us liars.
And when we
she went, "Oh well, if you think I'm lying, that's up to you because it did happen."
But we got her on a three-way call. We asked her. She went into one because she knows she got caught out. And this ain't even relevant really, a topic, because all it is we know, everyone knows, Kay, every time she opens her mouth, she lies. She don't even go close to the truth. But that's her condition, that's her health condition. You got to, you know, at least we can sit back and say, look, we realise what's wrong. All right, sometimes we jest with her and joke her and wind her up and blah, 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 blah. But then when you think, hang on.
Oh no, that was the end for me when she did that with the gun thing. I told you that.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know the end of the friendship until she phoned you after. Now, I want you to verify something. I want you to be really honest, Steve. Okay?
Well, nothing else with you.
I know you haven't. So I want you to verify this to whoever's listening. Right. I spent the night in a cell. And it was worse than the tsunami.
That's what.
Is that true?
100%. I can't work out. She cried to me on the phone.
So, to anybody listening, I've never been in a cell. I wouldn't want to. But if I was to have the choice, I've watched the 2004 tsunami. If I was to have a choice between spending a night in a cell or going through the tsunami, I would spend the night in a cell.
100%.
Which choice would you make?
I'll go for the cell. I'll go for the safe cell. Not all that water.
Of course.
Not all that death and tragedy.
But she turned around and says it was worse than the tsunami. And look at the amount of lies she's done about saying, I had to watch babies and trees for 2 days and all this and all that. And all I've said is she's a liar because she keeps chopping and changing her story.
But she's a liar, but she's also not a well person.
Did I not tell you that when
from the beginning.
maybe before the friendship? I says, look, Steve,
something's wrong.
I'm getting drained. She's was like a sort of daughter, And I did say to her, you need to go to the doctors, you need to get professional help.
Yep.
She told me she did.
Yeah.
And it was like she phoned me at work. She would phone me when I was away. It was like, why are you not supporting me? I was getting drained. I was actually getting drained, and it was making me ill.
Same here. Same with me.
Because the way she speaks online, Gobby, she was talking to me like that. And I'm just her mother. And I think you maybe says that at one point. It was like, do you talk to your mother like that? My two daughters don't. I'm not taking it off my two. They've brought up to be very respectful to their elders. And it got to the stage, it was like, you can't help somebody until they get the help they need. And she will never, ever be happy until she gets that help.
Exactly.
No matter what control she's under, Laura Cooper's or the gang she's in, she will never be happy until she goes for professional help.
And we all know now she needs it because she has met Laura. I don't know how she met Laura. She made out she was a decoy. We know about
She only came on the scene last year,
I know.
Steve. Tony Gates said one thing which is true. It was like, you confirmed you've been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Kay Leatherland was never known until she come up and what she did to Chelsea.
And it's not like she's...
And Laura Cooper can't even deny that. Nobody heard her name.
And
it's, did what she did.
And it's not like Kay isn't memorable. We'd remember her mouth for 2 years. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean it in a factual way. She'd be memorable. She hadn't been here that long. She went on Loopy's group. She told them in a private chat about a domestic violence situation.
But she never mentioned the tsunami.
No, watch. She mentioned that to them. And when she was in our fold, Helen, she was panicking. She said they're going to release my... They're going to out me. And it was for that. It wasn't for nothing else. It was for the situation, right? And then Ches put in the link on the live, an address for domestic violence. And she went, they're going to do it. They've done it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah, I remember that. Now, do you remember the live she did with Loopy?
Yeah.
With Charles Wells Capel? And Loopy was playing the phone, the Charles Bells.
Yeah.
And she went, she's trying to say you were in the tsunami.
Right.
And then she went, I was.
Yeah, but we know the
oh,
truth.
I didn't know that. So if you could tell somebody you have gone through domestic violence, why wouldn't you tell them you were in the tsunami?
Yeah. Also.
And she went,
also,
it was like, I didn't want that to come out, sort of thing.
Right.
I didn't out it. It came out from somebody in a survivors group, and yet she keeps saying I was the one that outed it. No. All I've said is she's a liar. Also, and I'm going to call her a liar.
Also, Helen, what you've got to remember is how it all panned out. She met Laura. She flew into Chelsea. Blah, 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 blah. It was violent, nasty. And then she went back to Laura, clapping her hands like, look, I've done it, right? Watch this. And then Chelsea went at her. But I've never seen any baby pics or whatever and all this palaver she's saying. I've seen comments when I was in the fold, and it was like, not in the fold, when I was watching, and it was like Crazy K or blah, 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 blah. But look what she's done now. She's been going on about it for a whole year.
She started off with her
hang on, Helen.
Because of what she did to Chelsea, and now she's looking beside.
Helen, hang on. I'm getting to that, please. Right? She's been going on about it for a whole year, hours in group chats with us, and then she goes back to Chelsea and gets her badge, like Loopy. Isn't that odd?
No. Loopy did it once before. That's why I put a comment up saying, did you Chelsea? Honest to God, Steve, it was like when we had the truce thing and we were on a phone call.
Yeah.
She's going to hear this because it's live.
Yeah.
I think she was 10, 15 minutes with Kay. We were about an hour or so because we had a lot to talk about because I've known her longer. And I says to her, why the hell did you go into that group? Why did you become mod and all the rest of it? And she went, so I'm going to say it now. She says, I thought I'd get to admin and take the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's now gone with stories from our group and went, whoop, I've got a badge. Well done, Loopy.
But that
Clap my hands at you.
that don't matter.
Have you told Chelsea what you did the last time round?
That don't matter, because as far as I'm concerned, Loopy went over to Chelsea for one reason. They were triggered by what I'd been getting up to with them, and they took in the limpet, the survivor, or whatever you want to call her, the spy with them to try and come out with some bullshit. But then the truth
You
came
know
out,
the
didn't it?
bullshit that come out with Steve, right? Let's go to B. Smith's soapbox group, right?
Yeah.
You know I'm on a 30-day ban on my account, and Loopy's actually said, ha! You know how you get that nervous laugh, like
Yep.
Tilly's?
We all know.
I got her a ban. It was because of that 14-year-old, 19-year-old, whatever age you want to put to it, because they're backing it up, inbox Joanne Mossop with a filthy, dirty, disgusting message.
I know.
I put it into B. Smith's group. I put it into our group, and I was done for harassment and bullying.
Yeah.
Where this young, she's 14-year-old one day and 19-year-old the next. But the filthy message she sent Joanne Mossop was disgusting. And yet, Loopy agrees with that sort of thing. She called that lady everything under the sun, and she doesn't have a clue what's going on because she only came into this last year. She's only, 19? But then again, she's got the mind of a 14-year-old. That's what they're all saying.
Well, as far as I'm...
To put what she put in Joanne Mossop's box was disgusting because she wouldn't have known half of what was going on unless somebody put it in her mind. Do you get where I'm coming from?
100%. 100%. But all I know is, over the last 2 days, they've been so since the Angel of Death come in. I call her the Angel of Death, you know.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
They've
wasn't
been
it?
absolutely shattered. But tomorrow's subject matter will be when she was talking to Kevin Ashley, Loopy. She was talking to, because I want to leave Kay alone. To be honest with you, you know.
I do. I'm done. I
Yeah.
says I'm done.
Okay, then let's talk about.
You know where that's going anyway because
Yeah.
of what's happening. So I'm done with that.
And I'll tell you about tomorrow's plan and topic is I recorded, obviously, I'm investigating. I'm going to keep files. I'm going to record. It's called investigating. It's called doing your due diligence as well. Being prepared, yeah? And failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So I record, as you know, everything.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Laura says she records things. And people can see she doesn't. She's apparently had a Google Drive on Chelsea about the threats to her children for a year. And there's supposed to be a policewoman on the group watching.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring in the Angel of Death, a person that's linked people that are linked to the...
You just have to Google it to see it. I mean, it's all documented, for God's sake.
A Suffolk... And another thing.
And they're actually advertising that they're doing this. I went, oh, wow, whoop, whoop, yeah.
And also, Loopy is of the ilk and class of people, when they go out and they talk, all these types of people talk about is, do you know so-and-so, do you know so-and-so, do you know so-and-so? And then they get onto topics, yeah? And they're going to talk about the craze. And they're going to go, yeah, Ronnie was part, it's a shame though, but Ronnie was part of a blah, 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 blah. Paedophile ring, Suffolk paedophile ring. Because we all know he had a...
Well, I heard her say, like, I was obviously working, I heard half it, and she went, oh yeah, but they're dead.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
All right, they're dead, but
and also, if
carry on.
If this woman is actually in Team Impact, how did she feel when Loopy said, or would have Loopy said if she was there, oh, what Reggie was? I didn't know that. Well, if he was, he's a fucking dirty nonce, right? But what about Ronnie? What about Ronnie, where the facts are out there with a Lord Boothby? It's chronicled. It's out there in the public domain.
Do you know what? They haven't got
That's
a clue.
right.
They haven't got a clue because they obviously didn't Google or watch documentaries about that sort of stuff.
They got no time because they've got their network working away 24/7, scamming survivors.
Scamming.
And why would a criminal admit they're part of a paedophile ring?
I think this is where she's jumped into Chelsea's ground now to maybe cover her back. I don't know, but at the same time, where's Tammy? Where's Tammy?
Tammy's going, it's irrelevant, and that she's leaving hunting again. How many times? She leaves hunting.
God, I can't. This is what I'm saying. It's like, I'm leaving.
What
That's
happened
it.
was...
I've got my family to take care of. I can't do this anymore. I can't count on my fingers how many times she said that. And yet, a couple of weeks, well, last week I think it was, I put obviously that post in about that 14, 19-year-old, whatever she wants to call herself, what she did to Joe Mossett. And Tammy went live in there. And I says, he's not a young boy, he's a 52-year-old man. Let him be responsible for his actions. And of course she went, Helen Donaldson. I don't pronounce to be an online nurse. Ha 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 ha. See when you hear that laugh?
Yeah.
And it's the same as when Laura's trying to get it, she's trying to get to that laugh where she sounds like Tilly. I'm telling you now, that is a nervous laugh because my dad had one. And my mum used to catch him out every time he told a lie. He used to have this nervous laugh. And Laura, I know you'll be listening, you'll hear this. That's your nervous laugh. And you, Tammy, that is your nervous laugh. You've had that for God knows how long. Because every time that somebody sees something wrong about you, that's what you do. That laugh comes out. And that is one nervous laugh. Now, I'm a cleaner. So clean your act up and clean your laugh up.
Are you a cleaner?
Right, Steve.
No, I'm saying if you're a cleaner, that means I haven't got to give you my Provident.
Oh no, I could give you a loan as well.
No, I'm saying I haven't got to pay I haven't got to pay you the Provident loan I've got off you.
No, I was just going to say I can give you a loan as well.
Yeah, but we know Kay. We know what Kay does and what Kay says, and we know. We even know through her sister what the problem is in her head, sort of thing. Like,
yeah, no, it's like. She went, what was it? My sister would tell her to fuck off. No, she didn't.
But getting back to Tammy, Tammy's always out here challenging people and going into one. I think what happened was she realised bringing in the angel of death was the biggest mistake she's ever made, and that it was going to link to something with...
Oh, completely.
Now, I want to
100%.
know, Tammy's been calling out people for so long. I've been given a reason to call me out by going, what's happened with Armstrong?
Steve, I was just going to say, let's go back to Sky Armstrong. Come on. How many people have been saying to her, what's happening? And it was like, well, there's so much come forward and there's more come forward and we can't answer it. And how long's it? What is it about? Coming up 2 years now, maybe?
I mean, even a survivor can say...
That guy is innocent. Sky Armstrong did nothing wrong. She can't admit it because Tilly's the big want-to-be Julie.
Exactly. But the way I see it is he's definitely going to get no further action if he ain't already got it.
Have you never noticed Tilly's voice now? It's like she wanted to be like Julie. Nobody ever noticed that.
I can't say I have.
And now Laura Cooper is getting to be like Tilly.
Yeah.
She wants to have Tilly's sort of voice and the laugh. She's trying to practice a laugh, but it doesn't work.
But what I can't work out is I've 100% proved them a flaw. Like someone else says, one shot, I shot them down. Then they brought that angel of death. Why hasn't Tammy ever come out with any info on me like she does with other people to discredit me? Especially
because she's got nothing.
Exactly. Plus, she knows she commits
The only thing
social
she's got is to
side.
say, he's the one that goes about with a dog and a pram. Well done, Tilly. Woot, woot,
Once again,
clap, clap, you.
Once again, if that was done in the real world outside, if someone mocks me for pushing a disabled dog or a dog with epilepsy or an elderly dog, I've had many scenarios where I've had to do it in my life. If they mock me in real life, I think that's the sort of thing only a paedophile could say. Someone like a paedophile, that's sadistic. It's a sadistic thing to say to someone.
When you're talking about animals, yes, I never actually got that into
People.
my brain until I thought about it.
Yeah, but then you're talking about survivors. People on here, they're doing it too.
Exactly.
About
This is where we're going, Steve. It's about what Heidi was talking to you about. You know this? I love Heidi. I think it was about probably April 2 years ago. Heidi popped up, and I'm sure it must have maybe been an Easter weekend when she popped up, and she was probably a follower, or Luli did one of these. Oh, I love Heidi. You know how she does that. But Heidi, well, you'll get Heidi. She'll say how it is. She'll never change her story. But you know this? I know I've been through a lot, but what she's gone through, what happened to her, her abuser was done in my hometown. So I take my hat off to that lady because she has been through a lot and she's still fighting on no matter what people say about her, but I'll back her 100%.
Well, from what I know about Heidi, I just keep my distance from her. But I always like, you know, like I always see her plug away, and I always used to like, she always used to bring a smile to my face because I've talked to her, but I didn't want to make it obvious, and I didn't want to bring her back into, put it this way, you know what goes on, the last 14 months, anyone gets close to me, they get mass reported, they get dirty, horrible inboxes and blah, blah,
Yeah.
this, that and the other, and you can't bring them into it. I mean, look at the Spy. When the Spy, don't mention her name, please, but the Spy, when she came into it, look what she was like. Look what she was like. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. When she came into it, it was like, you've still got to sort of feel sorry, but it weren't like me and Heidi. I talked to Heidi. I knew about Heidi. But I had to keep my distance. And once again, going back to the Spy, when she came into it, hang on a minute, I've just got to pick something up. When she came into it, it was the same thing. The same thing. It was the same sort of trust, if you know what I mean. Helen. Oh, Helen's gone. Helen's gone. Right, before we get too wavy, if anyone else wants to come on, AJ, you won't come on. 100% AJ will not come on. I know that. I know not to even ask. Wes was inboxing you for months, funny as. I take it that was still with sick shit. Any more interesting people? There's not a lot of viewers, and that's how I like it anyway. I'd rather have 10 decent people than half of that mass. AJ, John. That's good, AJ, that's good. Look, Heidi's even telling AJ, can you imagine if he actually did? Wow. Or she. Even though it might be me. I'm accused of being AJ. Wow. And it makes me wonder, AJ, like, if they can say things like that to people, and now with this opening this group, what was it? Booyaka Sun, exclamation mark, explanation mark, and with a picture of me, I'm thinking, is it about my deceased stepson? You know, because if they think they're going to knock me down or get to me doing something like that, there's a million more things they're going to have to do to even get anything from me. Claire Louise is AJ. I thought so. I've heard rumours, you know what I mean? But anyway, Joe's put her glass eye in the glass as usual. How many times you said that? Jesus. All right. All right. Listen, I'm gonna go. Peace, yeah. All have a good night, and I hope no one's too stressed out. And if you are, do what I do, yeah. And that's listen to Rain Effects on YouTube, like 11 hours. You can't beat it. Enough of my claptrap. Peace, yeah.